Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to another Free Play Friday! I always love a Friday because this is my favorite thing to do, my favorite place to be of all times. So, 2.5 more days of my real job, and then it'll be summer, and after that I'll be part-time, so I'll be able to be here a lot more. So, yes, her new channel. Oh, my sister's gonna have a new channel. I will introduce that. That will all come out when I have the time to get there and get her set up. She is hilarious. This is what we're making today. Not exactly these two. I'm going to show you how to put them together. But I'm not going to go, okay, first get out your paper and here's what you need. These are the sizes and stuff. I'm going to show you how to find a card. You find a card that you like and you want to case it, which means copy it. Casing a card, if you've ever heard that term, just means that you love that card and you want to copy it. Maybe not exactly to, the T, but you want the idea, and then you'll decorate it as your own, make it unique, obviously. So this one I created with the digis that I made. They're in qualitycrafts.com under digis if you're interested. There's a set of C1s. And then this one I made with butterfly dye that I had and some flowers I had laying around. Just so happened to match this really cool like plum and gold paper that I had laying around. So that's what I did. Jill, you fell out. What? Well, summer for me, summer for me. So we're gonna do something like this, but what I'm gonna do is show you how to case it. I'm going to do the measurements with you, and here there's half. I have 2 truths on why I'm doing this. Number one, this will help you if you find a card and you want to case it, and you're wondering like, where would I even start? Like, how do I take cards that other people make and try, to make my own version of them, make them smaller, bigger, whatever. And number two, it's just my life had been so crazy busy. I didn't have time to find where I made these from and get all the stuff. And I could have rushed after work and done it, but I didn't want it to be half bleeped. So I'm going to show you how I would normally do it. It might be slightly different than I would, but we got a whole hour to play, and it's Friday, so let's just do this thing, right? First thing I want to do, I like this one. This one will be really easy too. But anyway, I like this one. It folds down flat for mailing. This one, and sometimes when you make these cards, it's just the way it is. They're not going to fold the way you want them to. This one, when I try to fold this one, it bows. And so as we recreate these cards and try to get some measurements of our own, I'm going to try to prevent that bowing if I can by using some tips and tricks that maybe come to us as we create them. And I'm going to make them all in white cardstock for right now, just until we get down how we're doing this. So first thing we're going to do is measure it. I'm going to pull out a piece of paper so we can write down our measurements as we go if we need to. So I think this one is takes a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cuts it in half, and that's what you basically need. These stamps for the ocean box, those are my own digi stamps that I create. They're at qualitycrafts.com under digis in the store. So it's 5 inches across, and then each one of the sides I believe is 3 inches. Okay, 5 here, 6, 7, 8 down one side, 9, 10, 11 down the other. That's where you get your 11 inches. So if we cut one piece of paper in half, we should get 2 pieces that will fold into creating this entire box piece. All right. So let's go ahead and do that first, because I think that's the easiest part. So one regular 8.5 by 11 sheet cut the hot dog way, so that you've got 2 sheets that are 4 1/4 wide. And I'm going to cut mine right over here. And then we have to do a little bit of scoring, which should be pretty easy. Because if it's 5 by 3 by 3, all we have to do is stick it in our scorer and fold each side by 3. So we're going to go 3 inches. And then we're going to just turn it around and do 3 inches. Remember, these are two A2 size card bases that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. If you folded them in half, they would make a card. We're just scoring them each at 3. We're going to use both of them. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Rita. We're just scoring an A2 card at 3 and 3 on each side. Hello, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these right on the score line and show you what I'm talking about. Now, when we do this, we're going to have 2 pieces right here that overlap. Okay, so it's going to be relatively thick on this side and this side. If you don't want that much thickness for whatever reason, I think it would be great, personally. And you always want to open and close your card as you're putting it together to make sure it's going to go flat. You can cut this down. You can cut this down as far as you want, maybe 1/4 of an inch on each side and just glue 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to glue the whole thing. Now, before I glue the whole thing, since now I have, like I said, I'm not going to cut mine off. This is my setup here. Hey, Esther. And now if you look at this one, these are 2 bands that go across, but it's not a full sheet of paper, okay? It's like, let me see if I can... Okay, so like there's a band going across here and one here. And that's it, okay? And then there's 2 going across the bottom. That gives you the illusion that there's a sheet in there where there really isn't. And then all I did was take acetate. If I get it really close, you'll be able to see where the acetate shines. Look on the turtle right here, piece of acetate. Okay, other things that aren't floating in the middle might be glued to the back. This little guy is glued on a piece of acetate. His goes all the way down in the back. Kind of hard to show you when it's in there, but if I flip it like this, acetate all the way down the back of him. And then some of this kind of stuff is just glued in place. That's it. So you have to size your things and decide where you're going to place stuff before you like jam it all in there. But I have a window in the front of this card. Okay, so that means that one of these panels, whichever one you choose, it doesn't matter, they're both the same, has to have something cut out of the front to make it a see-through card. Okay, the back is already there. You just need a hole here to create this, and then a couple strips of paper. That's it. It's like when you take it all apart and break it down like that, it seems in your mind a lot easier, doesn't it? So you just have to decide, okay, I'm going to take this one, I'm going to lay it down. This is my front. And because I'm going to cut something out of there, I think I'm just going to go ahead right here and put F for front. And then I'm going to take this back sheet and I'm going to lay it down here and in pencil, because I know I'm not going to cut this out and I may want to erase it later. My pencil is usually sitting here. There it is. There it is. I'm going to put a light B for back, because we're going to want to color that backdrop, stamp on the backdrop, whatever we decide we're going to do. I think I broke my toe, so I'm not going to do a lot of jumping up and running around. I'm maybe just going to grab a couple of things that are really super close to me. I have a butterfly. I have some butterflies, I think, that I'll probably want to put in here. I have some Tim Holtz transparent wings. I think I'm going to put these in there. And then maybe some greenery or something if I can. There's a die that makes these kind of little cards, and I don't have the die. So you can cut this down or make this bigger, smaller, whatever. Esther says that she has a smaller one. So now my issue is that, now this one actually folded really nicely. So I don't know what the deal with that. I don't know what the deal with this one was. But I'm going to try to recreate this one. We already know that the front is 5 inches, right? So we need a couple of strips, 4 to be exact, to get this same layout. But we need it to be a little bit longer than 4, so I'm going to give a 1/4 inch on each side and make, or 5, I'm sorry, 5. I'm going to give a 1/4 inch on each side for the little flappy doos, so I'm going to make mine 5 1/2, 1/4 inch on each side. So I'm going to save these, my back and my front, so that I know that's where I'm going to cut and where I'm going to color. I'm going to pull out another sheet that I have here. And I said I needed 5.5, so I'm just going to go ahead really quickly and mark this 5.5 so I can put it in my cutter. It's my right toe, the one next to the pinky. And god darn, I just can't even believe it. Okay. Now that I have that length, it should be longer than the front by about 1/4 of an inch on each side. So that I'm going to cut a couple of strips of this. I technically need 4. 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom. Now these, you can pick however wide you want it to be. If you're doing a rectangle or a square, you don't want it to be too much bigger than this one unless you're making a box that goes in like this. You can do that where you have the larger circle, the medium circle, and the small circle. You can do that with this as well by putting in panels, but I'm just going to show you how I did this one in the same, okay? The cardstock I'm using is 110-pound cardstock, and these are about 1/2 inch wide, so I'm going to make them 1/2 inch. And I need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, oh, I never believed people when they said, you know, toes hurt when they get banged up. Ah! All right. 1/4 of an inch on each side. And then you just fold in each tab. And obviously you can decorate this however you want. The decoration part is not the part we're worried about here. The part we're worried about is how do you put the darn thing together, right? I put mine all together. It's besides the sandy bottom that you can see here, these 2 sandy pieces. I think I put those on. No, I think the only thing I did first was I did my background first. Now, if you forget, all you have to do is just measure this. This is just 5 inches across by 4 1/4. So if you want to do one after the fact, put this all together, put it all in there. And then after the fact, you could make a panel and then slide it in there and glue it to the back. I like to do it afterwards. I like to set the whole thing up and then create the scene as I go. I think that's really super fun. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. But first I'm going to make my little panels here. And then I'm going to put together my card and see if it folds flat. Because if it doesn't fold flat, in my opinion, like, what's the point, right? That's the whole goal here. I'm sorry to be whiny, you guys. Oh, I have 0 tolerance for pain. I'm a big baby when it comes to that. Needles and pain. Ooh. No, thank you. All right, we've got 4. Let's see if we can get this baby put together. So for the sake of that, I'm not going to color my background first, but feel free. I'm going to put it all together. Here's my front. I put an F on there for front. Now you can decide which side of these is going in or out. It doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't. You just have to decide where you're going to put your tape. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my card this way. And I'm going to put my tape right here. And the reason why I'm bending it and taping it is because I want it to stay, and then I'm just going to flip this over while it's still flat and glue it so that I know it's still going to stay flat. Otherwise, there's really no point if it's going to just bow again. So this is what I'm trying to stop the bowing from happening. Let me make sure I didn't bump this all up to wazoo. Okay. And then glue that down. And that side should be sturdy enough. This side's still open. So now we're going to fold it the other way. Flop that back and put some tape on here. I'm using ATG tape. super strong ATG tape. You can get refills of this for $2 a roll in the Quality Craft store if you need it. It fits that pink roller that I'm using, and it also fits the red one. I think it's a Scotch red one, like number 714. And there we go. We got the box to stand up. We know it's going to fold flat for mailing. If you need to cut it down or change the size because you don't have a mailer that'll fit in, go ahead and do that. Hey, Jamie. So, I didn't cut my front, and I should have. I'm just going to go ahead and freehand one. So while I have it flat, I'm going to trace one and cut it out. And I think maybe I'll do a circle this time. Let me find a circle that's going to work for me. I was hoping not to have to get up, but... here we go. Tape. What a great idea. This will work. Okay, I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm just going to trace the inside of this. And then I'm just going to freehand cutting it. So just make sure that if you're doing the front, obviously, whether you're doing it circle or square or whatever, that you, if you're doing a die, do this before you put your card together. I spaced it. It's been a long, tiring week, but hey, when you're crafting, there's no, like, perfect, and you can always just restart, redo. It's just paper. Try it again. I make mistakes too, really often. I'm really great at losing stuff. Alright, there we go. Now if I wanted to, I could go ahead and erase around there. Let's see. Like if I don't want my pencil marks to show. Just erase the pencil marks, because I didn't go inside the line. There we go. I have a box card where it's going to be see-through through the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and then we'll decorate at the end. Hey, Monica. Creative Tamara, welcome. Hi, Kathy. I'm going to try to use wet glue on this. The last time it didn't work most famously for me, but... So a little on each one of these tabs. And then you just kind of have to decide where you're going to put them. Mine all faced forward on this one that we already made. So I'm going to face all mine forward. Try to get towards the top, because that'll help you line it up. If you want to make little pencil marks on the side so they line up exactly where you want them, feel free to do that. I'm going to go ahead and fold it, make sure that it's going to fold flat for me, and that looks like it's doing okay. So let's go ahead and add the next one. Now take all these steps, and you can put these steps in any order that you please. Change your paper colors as you need to. I'm doing it all in white just because of the tutorial. I hope to do a lot more fancy fold cards and stuff like this during the summer when I am not exhausted and trying to catch up on everything, because I won't be working full time next year. So that will be good. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold it. I'm pushing down if it doesn't fold to make sure my fold gets in the right spot so that it will bend. And then look at that, it will lay flat. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and do the same thing on the bottom. A little bit of wet glue. I've got Aleene's tacky glue in there, and I'm still facing my little tabs towards the cut front here. And then I'm just going to look down as I put it in and see if I can't match that up with the one down below. And you know what? If you can't, it's not a big deal. It really doesn't matter at all. Just try to get them kind of evenly across. Like I said, you can take yours and put little tick marks on the side if you want them to be specifically placed. I'm not going to worry about that. Looks like mine's working so far, so I'm going to add the very last one here. Again, I'm putting my tabs towards the front So all my tabs are facing the same way. I don't know if that matters, but I've had problems with the bowing, so I'm just trying to follow. Since this card turned out so well, I'm just following the card that I have that turned out really well. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. You can use, don't use wet glue if you get frustrated by things falling apart, not staying easily. You could even put pieces of acetate across if you want to make it look like it's floating right in the middle. So once this is folded completely down, the size of the card ends up being, Arrow Mama just asked, right? It ends up to be 8 inches long by 4 1/4 inches. All right, so there we can see in our little line things there. If you look straight in, are pretty hidden. They don't have to be, it's not that big of a deal, but that's where you're gonna glue all your stuff onto, right? You're welcome. I thought that I had seen if this would fit in a business size envelope. I think it does, but now that was this not the card I did that? If anyone's got a business size envelope so I don't have to hobble around and look for mine, check and see if that would work. 8 inches long by 4 1/4 tall. Will that fit in a business envelope? Otherwise, we can rework the numbers too. I like this card because even if I have to make my own envelope, the folded size is 8 by 4 1/4. I like this size because it takes advantage of the fact that you can use one sheet of cardstock, 8.5 by 11, cut it in half, and essentially get your base. And then you just need another like card base or card topper. You'll have to make your own. You have to make your own envelopes. See, Barbara makes her own envelopes. I have a video on that, by the way, if you want to make your own envelopes. 4 by 9.5. Okay. Well, then what we could do is we could make it 4 instead of 4 1/4. All you have to do is just cut it down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do a little decorating. Now, remember I said I didn't get my back done? I can drop a backdrop in there. Let me grab some stuff that I already have done over here. I know some of you who follow me will recognize this stuff. And the size of this is what? 4 1/4 by 5. So these should be just a little bit too big. If I cut down, any one of these could be the backdrop for that. So wouldn't that be cool to have that kind of a backdrop? And then hang some stuff. Let's try that. Let's cut that to, I would need that to be 5 across. It's already 4 1/4 tall. I just need to cut it down to 5. Alright, so we've got some of that cut off. And I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the edges so I don't ruin that fun look for the middle. I'm not going to glue down the center. Got to get it to stay down. Wants to pop back up in there. There we go. Pull that off. Okay, and then we should be able to just slide it down in there. Make sure we're not hitting our other little guy in the back. There we go. Got it down there, and make sure the sides all stick. Looks like there was a little bit too much on this side, but that's okay because it crunched it up when I folded it. I don't think you'll even notice that, but how cool is that? Now, could we hang a couple of these? Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff here. A lot of stuff that I made. So there's some bubbles for the background if you wanted to do bubbles for your... I like that. Okay. My butterflies. There they are. Oh, one of the wings fell out. Oh no. I thought they all came put together, but some of the wings are separate. That's cool. Okay, let's see what size we need. Here are what these look like. If I could get more of these to sell to you guys, I totally would. I only got one, so I kept it so that I could use them. They're little acetate butterflies. Totally cool. And if we fold it in, it should be able to pop up. And we could put that like on the outside. Now I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that with the silver. It hides them too much. Let's switch to something else. Did you? It took me a while to figure out the envelope punch maker, but once I did, I was like, this is awesome. I think that's what I used in my video a while back to show you how to do that. So I'm not happy with the way that looks. I'm gonna go ahead and look for something else to my side that we could put on there. What I'd like to do is make some like flowers that would pop out of there. I think that would be really cool. Ooh, Debbie says maybe color the butterflies. We could try that. I want one that to be kind of blue. Let's give that a shot. Let's keep that same one that I had out. Take a light blue, maybe this color. This would be pretty. I want a piece of paper for the backdrop. I'm gonna color this one like all that one color first. I'm going over a couple of times so that you can actually see that color. Okay. One more wing. I do love it when you guys give me ideas for videos, things that you want to see. Join us on the Patreon program. Oh, I actually have a file for those that I will try to get to. Oh, that looks pretty. How about that? And then I would glue this, either a piece of acetate down the middle, or I would glue them right to these pieces right there so that it hung. I feel like this would be better on a piece of acetate right down the center. So I am going to hobble over and see if I can't pull a piece of acetate out of that drawer. Nope, not that one. I'm not close enough. Oh, yay, I got the drawer. Okay, here's a piece of acetate. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut some of this down a tad. Oh, these cards are so cool. Like when people get them in the mail, they're just like, what? And then you can be like, yeah, I made that. I handmade that. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Depending on how thick yours is, how how firm it is. Then you can decide how much you need and how thick you think you need to make it. But it's 4 1/4 tall, so I'm going to go ahead and cut mine at 4 1/4. Then I don't have to think about it. 4 1/4 tall. I'm going to keep the other one too. because they end up being almost exactly the same. Now I'm going to use glue dots for mine. You can use, actually, you know what? I'm going to use this because you won't see it. I'm going to use some of this tear and tape that I have. And I'm going to put one on the bottom and one on the top. And hopefully it's firm enough that it'll stand between those two layers that I've got built up in there. Make sure that you don't have a lot of extra sticking over so it doesn't stick to anything when you fold the card flat. We'll double check that too. Okay, so let me go ahead. Actually, I want that a little bit further forward. So I am going to put mine right here. If you're not exactly straight up and down, nobody's going to care because you won't be able to see it. Now, if I put mine in there like that, you can't see the acetate. Unless you're in person. There, you can see it at the bottom. That's what I'm going to hang this guy on. I think I'm going to try one little piece of this. Otherwise, you can use glue dots too. Glue dots are good. I'm actually using one of my Hoo sets of markers. You can use Copic. You can also use Spectrum Noir. I have a lot of Spectrum Noir markers. Oops. It took off the color. Word to the wise. I've never worked with these before, but guess what? I put that tape on there and it literally took off the color of the butterfly. So now it's not in the right spot. How odd is that? Well, you know what? I'm just going to leave it for now. Weird. No, I'm not going to leave it because now I have a naked part of my butterfly. I'm going to get a glue dot and glue dot that in. We can always color something over the top with a black marker too. Oh, that's crazy. Beware, guys. That will come right off your butterfly. Be careful using glue dots too, because I just took off some more. Weird. Alright. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. Now look. See the middle of the butterfly is gone? Like, what? We're going to draw something in with a brown, maybe a dark brown. Yeah, it's so weird. So if you're using them, if you have some, beware. I'm going to go ahead and dip mine down like this and give him a body. I need something white though. Here we go. And then I can draw in some more of those wings back. And I bet nobody will be any the wiser, except you guys, because you know. It's naked. There we go. I don't know that anyone will really look close and decide that that was completely wrong. It's really hard to tell. But that's cool. He's kind of just, he moves a little bit too. He looks really cool in there. We could add bling to the center. That would work too. Now we have to decide, like, what else do we want in there? Do we want some grass pooping up the top? Because I think that would be really cute. Let's see if I have some green right here that I could, something. It's good to use things that you've made and created that you set aside if you can. A lot of stuff in here. Oh, that flower's pretty. Some blue. There's design. Oh, there was green on the back of that, but that was kind of a designy out. Look at that. That would have looked cool with the blue butterfly, wouldn't have? There's some more things we've made. No. No green. Of course not. Do I have any green nearby? Let me hobble and get green. Oh. I could color some, you know what?
I don't need to go anywhere. I can color some. Let's make it really light since that butterfly is not overwhelming. What's the lightest green I have? This work? That's cool. I think I have a grass cutter, but like a die cut, but I can't remember for sure. If it's nearby. Let me check. This summer's going to be a rearrange in here too. It's going to look totally different. Ooh, I found it. Yay! Let's try this out. I have scissors that will make grass. I've done that before. Thanks, Jill. I really want to try this one out. I really like this one. I know you're supposed to use like little tin snips. I don't know where mine are. Never cut these apart before. Where are my junky scissors? The ones I've already ruined. Let's try them. Yep, that works. My junky scissors that I've already done in. Dun dun dun. We're going to put them on here. I better washi tape that on. How much time do we have? Like, oh good, thank goodness. I was like having so much fun. I thought, oh my, I'm actually kind of being timed. How many of you guys think that after I kind of showed you the anatomy of taking apart this card that you'd be able to make one? Just curious. Give me some comments. I'm going to get this ready because it's going to go into the Gemini. Gemini. All right, I always cut up. So I'm going to make sure that my cut is going up. That way I'm not wrecking things. Yeah, it looks like some of you guys can handle it. Now, if I decide I really don't like the way this turned out, don't rip my grass washi tape. Oh no, I did it the wrong way. Oops. I ripped my grass. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Grass is grass. Oh. I wanted to go this way. Let's use that piece. Even though I ripped that one too. We can always cut that one down. Alright. Get out my... I'm gonna go one shade brighter. Oh, awesome, Marlene. That's good to know. There's the goal. There is the goal. Marlene says she's a new card maker. She didn't think she could do it, but after I kind of broke it down a little bit, she thinks she can maybe handle making one. I think you can too. Totally. So I'm just kind of, you know, adding some green here. And then I can chop it off. And it's a little bit long, so I'm going to have to cut off about 1/2 inch after I get rid of my Gemini boards out of the way. Chop this down. Now, I'm not sure how high up or down I want to keep it, so let's just go 1/4 inch on this side. I left some white at the bottom. Now, if I put it in there, okay, and I put this up,
and it's like way too much, that's when I could chop it down. Maybe I want that to be in the background and hide this white panel. Oh, then we could put a little grass in the background. I want to cut that down to about there. Like that's where I like the way it looks, where it's sitting. And so I'm going to cut it about right there. I'm going to use this really cool tool that I call fold it in half with your fingernail and make a mark so you can cut it down. Stick it back in my trimmer on the edge. There we go. And that's where that's going to go. Now I'm deciding already that's not quite green enough for me. I'm going to go just another shade lighter to the LG3 and see if that helps. Yeah. I wasn't paying attention to the way my grass was growing either. So if you have the grass dye, I ordered more grass dyes and for some reason I didn't get the ones that I wanted. So eventually I hope to have a little bit more. Some more grass dyes. That's better. That's the color I'm looking for. Maybe just one more layer of color. The grass isn't all one color, so I'm not going all the way up to all the tips. Some will look a little bit darker than others, and that'll be cool. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take that tear and tape. Now you can use ATG too. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Okay? Same stuff. It's just this stuff I know exactly where I'm putting it. The ATG tape is just so much faster. I'd have been done already. And it's wet from the marker, so that doesn't help. These are not Copics, Ada. These are Spectrum Noir. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one on that bottom one. And like I said, if this helps you to put yours together beforehand, feel free. I just know that I like decorating as I go. And mine went way too low. Ooh, that'll totally work though. We go ahead and just drop that down. And then cut the part off that went kittywampus on me. That's the part I don't want. So we'll just cut it off. If you don't want that to happen, you don't have to monkey with that, use wet glue, and that way you'll have some time to kind of smoosh it around before it dries. I should have done that, but I didn't. Anyway, I still got that grassy look that I wanted. Look at that. So pretty. That is really cool. I could put some grass on this other one right up front by him. Just make it super short. Maybe I'll just use that other grass I have, even though it's backwards. What if I turn it around a little bit? If I turn it around, it'll look great. Let's do it another color. Let's do it this color. This is an LG5, so it's a little bit darker. Let's see what we get with this. So actually the anatomy of making this card is almost exactly the same. You make your two frames, and then on the inside with this color, I just made it the same size as the frame and added on a 1/2 inch on each side. And that way, because this is 1 inch on this side, 1 inch, and I made that the length of the card plus a 1/2 inch, it automatically, when you put that tab forward, gives you the 1/2 inch mark, so you don't even have to guess. That's the only difference. So if you think you want to try one like that, go for it. Alright, and I want that to be about 1/4 inch. I think we might get some white. We might actually see some white coming up from that side, this side, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and cover the rest of this. And then put some wet glue on so I can show you. Yeah, the front too, everything. You can decorate the whole darn thing and make it look really cool. And I'll show you, for some of you guys who came in the middle, what my other one looks like. So this one, did I cut it down? Oh, I didn't cut it down. I'm going to need to cut off a little bit on each end. And I'm just going to guesstimate. That one's going to go on this one in front here. And since I have wet adhesive on, I should have a little bit of time to schmooze it up where I want it to go. Schmooze. There we go. And then we've got another little layer of grass. And I'm just going to go ahead and push that down. Let's go ahead and make sure that everything's going to stick. Everything's going to go down flat when we mail that. And it is. Then it pops up and you've got that grass in there. Oh, it's so pretty. All right. Oh, mermaid and unicorn themed. Yes. Yes, please. We should decorate the front, don't you think? I want some like greenery and some flowers. I think that would be really pretty. So to make this simple, I'm going to take some of the leftover papers, do some flowers and some greenery. Since I like this color so much, I'm going to go ahead and, I haven't used my Spectrum Noirs in quite some time. It's pretty apparent. I need to refill them. Okay, we need a couple of leaves. I didn't leave myself any room to get back there. Honestly, I didn't think we'd have enough time to add stuff on, so I'm kind of excited. Let's go ahead and use these flowers today. That one's really cute. And we'll make our own leaves. So only thing we have to do then is find a piece of paper, which we have this one, and decide what color flowers we want. I want kind of like a muted coral maybe. That sounds really cute. Muted coral, that might be kind of hard to find. Yeah, how about this one? That's pretty dark, but we'll go with it. So that will be our flowers. I don't like these little things they put on the bottoms of these things. I'm sorry if I resell them and they don't have the bottoms, but I like to get my item out right away. Like that. 3 might be enough. We'll add a couple of flower centers and we'll cut out a couple of leaves. I'm just freehanding some leaves so we've got something to use. A few more. And obviously we could have used some colored paper too. That might have helped for the front so it's not all white. But I just want to show you without, you know, it's just so much easier to see, I think. Oh, do I have 2 layers of this? It's like coming off like I've got 2 layers. I might have to re-glue that one. Oh, I got 4 layers. I must have done that super extra thick. So later on, I'm going to put in a little bit of glue and glue that on. Oh, or we could use our tiny attacher. Let's do that. Just gonna go ahead and tiny attach those real quick. And because they're silver, they're probably not going to be very well seen, which is awesome. Okay, and a couple of flower centers that I have on hand. Oh, for the little ones. And these are also for sale. I just don't think I have them all set up yet. And I'm going to use glue dots for that. I think that will go a lot easier. You've never used your tiny attacher? You might not see me use mine all the time on video, but I do use it all the time. I love that thing. I never thought I would. I thought, who cares? It's just a stapler, right? Well, I love it. Yours says what's up to 20, 23. Oh, likes? I can't see likes, but I can see 27 people watching. So thank you all 27 of you for joining me today. Fridays are my favorite day. Maybe after I don't have to work my full-time job already, it might change. Then every day is going to be like, every day is going to be my favorite day. I'm going to use some wet glue to put these down. You got your package today. That's awesome. I bet a lot of you guys did. There's a few that probably won't get theirs till Thursday. That happens. And then I'm just going to toss in a few of these leaves. Now, you can fold these in half so that they look a little bit more three-dimensional, which is really cool. I do have some Copics. Yes, I do get Copics in from time to time. Uh-oh, I dropped my glue dots. Thanks, Esther. Yeah, if you've never seen one of my sales, you should come check it out. The next one won't be until the 15th of June, but you can check out the resale group where I will be tonight, for sure, posting some new stuff for you guys. Oh, I totally could pack up your house. That would be fun. And I'm going to put just a couple of leaves over here by themselves. Well, congratulations for selling your house, by the way. Selling, buying, moving. It's a crazy time in your life. For sure. Here we go. Oops, I lost a leaf. More glue, please. I definitely would like something sprayed around the top. Some different color. I would have added a different color to that. But it still looks really cool. And so these will still fold. Make sure I didn't put it too close to the edge. Fold down. These, all these things that pop up can go flat, right? So that you have a flat card to mail. Dun, 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 dun. And like I said, if you don't do the little strips, You can do a whole wall. This one has a whole wall with a hole cut out of it instead, with flaps on the side. But for some reason, this one doesn't want to bend and close like the other one. I think too big of flaps. Like, I would have to have cut that a little bit smaller, I think. Anyway, so use your dies. Like, these butterflies look gorgeous in there, don't they? Look at that. And the flowers, don't be afraid to add dimension, because even if it's a little bit of dimension, you can still send them. And most, 99% of the time, when I give cards, I hand deliver mine, so that's really pretty. He looks like he's just hanging in there. Oh, we could put some on the outside too. Let's put one more on the outside before we call her a day. We've got about 5 minutes here, and then I will wrap up and show you some of the other two. Should have a small one that we can put up here. Like, how small do we want to go? This small? Oops. This small or this small? Let's see. Oh, that's kind of really too small, I think. Yeah, let's go bigger. Oops, just tucked my sticker in there. We don't want to lose any of those guys. All right, we'll make this one blue as well. I'm gonna try to color it on the back side, if that'll make any difference. What do we use for that? I think we'll use this one. What called, hun? Jill? I'm not sure what. I've touched so many things in the last minute or so until your thing came. Oh, the butterflies. Tim Holtz Transparent Wings. Tim Holtz Transparent Wings, 72 pieces. Rosie, you can definitely go back through the one last weekend. I'll try my best to find things from that. So here is the other one, which is gonna go like right here. I'm gonna make this like pop up. I'm gonna try to get a glue dot rolled up with my finger so that I don't remove any of his body. There we go. And we want to put him like right there. There we go. Super cute. Just really fun. Like, it would take me probably hours to put one of these together if I was just really enjoying going through my stuff and just trying things out and experimenting, and like that's just how I like to build like my cards. I'm gonna go ahead and put my grass dies away before I shut down here because I might forget about them otherwise. So I'm gonna put those back in their package. Put my Gemini away. All right, let's go ahead and put some of these macas away. And I'll show you the ones that we did and the ones that I did previously. And I hope that the way I went through this gave you some inspiration to do some cast cards, which means stealing people's ideas, kind of taking that card and breaking it down step by step, making it doable. I mean, there's tons of tutorials out there, but what if you can't find the tutorial to make that card smaller or bigger? You could use that idea that I've done today to find that balance and make your own size. I should probably put this back on my punch too. That's okay. The video will archive and you'll be able to watch it again. No worries. There we go. Okay. So this is the one that we made today together. It's got a flying butterfly in there. Here's one I made previously. That one's supposed to fold flat, but it doesn't quite. I had some warping, so our ideas were trying to get rid of that. And this is the one I made before using all of the little sea creatures. If you really dig those sea creatures, you like the way this one looks, you can find all of these digis. And I think there's an option to have colored or non-colored at qualitycrafts.com. I do have a digi section, and I draw all those by hand. So if you like those digis, you can get those there. Here are the ones that we've done today. Rita says, don't forget to make an album for your makes in Quality Crafts. I like that idea. That's a great idea. If you want to get deeper into the community and you want to be one of the people that wants this to be full-time, and you want to be one of the supporters, join us on patreon.com/qualitycrafts, and I'll see you there. We'll put you into the private group where you get all of the perks that are listed on there. And, oh, I didn't even have to write anything down. It was so simple. And the other ways that you can join in and be a part of this is by joining the sales or joining the community group, which is commitment and drama free. So you don't have to worry about doing anything to remain in the group. That's not required, nothing like that. It's Quality Crafts on Facebook. If you can't find the links to the things you're looking for within our community, please try going to Quality Crafts. Koala, like the bear, T in the letter, crafts, all lowercase, all smooshed together.com, qualitycrafts.com. You should be able to find links to all of our things, everything, including the group and Patreon and the Amazon links and all that stuff. I affiliate with Amazon, which is why those are on there. And all that kind of stuff you can find at qualitycrafts.com. Any other questions you have, join the friendly community because everybody is willing to help you. You can always private message me, shop on the resale group. And any other questions you have, everybody would be glad to help you out. Just join us in any one of those community links, and I can't wait to see you guys next video.